Hello, my friends. This is Tasha's and her mother's first day of Taekwondo class on their long journey to their black belt. You see the uniforms?
Okay.
Okay, so the right side tucks inside.
Okay.
And there's ties on both. So tie these together.
Okay. Any particular way of this?
However you want to tie them. Now there's a quicker tie that the Koreans do a lot of times. And it's just the half bow. Right there.
Okay.
Okay, what you want to do is find the center. Okay, center goes to your belly button, goes around, crosses in the back. Okay, the one that's on top gathers both up. Okay, we could probably use a shorter belt for you. And then the one that's lower stays underneath. Bring the top one up through the hole. And you see the knot, it comes out to the sides. You have to put these on your uniform. Okay, American patch goes on the right, just like mine.
Okay. On the right sleeve.
The Korean goes on the left,
Oh,
and
okay.
you sew it right underneath this hem of
Okay.
the seam. Yeah, right there.
Okay.
And there's the Korean. Then this is our association patch, Rong Kwon. And sun over the water is what I tell people.
Okay.
Yeah, and that goes over the heart.
Okay.
Then this is Jido Kwon. This is the type of Taekwondo that we're practicing. And you practiced the Muda Kwon?
Muda Kwon.
Yeah. This is Jido Kwon, very similar. Yeah, that'll go, and even them. And don't have them up on your shoulder. You can tell if we're practicing a martial art, which is a military art, so you can tell everybody's rank by their color. So right now you're at the bottom. And then the rank changes with the colors, so it goes, in our system, it goes white, yellow, green, blue, red, which is equivalent to people's bronze belts, then black.
Okay.
And we stick with those colors because we have the analogy or story of taking a grain of rice, which is white, planting it in the soil, and then it germinates, it turns yellow. Then it sprouts, it turns green. Then it reaches to the sky, which is blue. Then to the sun, that's where we get red instead of brown. And then to the universe, which is black.
That makes sense.
So that's our color scheme. And there's 8 steps to get to the black belt. So some of those colors will have more than one rank in that color range. In fact, the red has 3 degrees of red. Then black, we go from 1st degree black to 8th degree black.
Oh, okay.
So some organizations have 10, but those are recent things that they're adding up because they need higher rank.
That's people.
Large groups, so they promote them to higher rank. But 8 is traditional. 8 has always been kind of like their lucky number. The Korean flag, you see these trigrams, which are on here. The old flag used to have 8. But it looked too cluttered, so they eliminated 4 of them and just have the 4 on there. You know what kind of martial arts there are? Can you name any? You mentioned jiu-jitsu before. Okay, jiu-jitsu is real popular now. You have the kung fu, which is Chinese. You have the Japanese, which is karate. The Korean, which is the Taekwondo. The martial art originally originated as an unarmed self-defense, and it was taught or practiced by the monks from India. And as they would travel, they would be attacked because they would be ones that would have money, people that were traveling. So they developed a means of self-defense. So as they traveled, martial art traveled with them. And As it traveled from India, it went through China, which they developed the Kung Fu. And then it went into Korea. But with the Korean history, they said that Taekwondo developed independently because there's an extreme difference between the Chinese Kung Fu and the Karate, which is Japanese, and the Korean, which is Taekwondo, and those two are real similar. Now, as you come in the studio, there's a picture of two people in unarmed combat, and I think it's that second picture up there.
Okay.
Okay, that was discovered back, I think, in 35 or so, in a tomb in Korea, in northern part of Korea, Manchuria area. And it's depicting people practicing Taekwondo or a martial art, unarmed fighting. And what's significant with that is that was shown that it predates Buddhism by more than 400 years, which means the martial art wasn't there 400 years. So that's why they're saying it developed independently there. And then the Taekwondo, because Korea is a peninsula and their life is tied close to the sea, they were always venturing out to the islands. And their martial art traveled with them, and it went to Okinawa. Now in the Japanese history, they said they learned karate from Okinawa. But anyway, that's the history that I know,
Yeah,
and my history is not what's read, it's word of mouth from my instructor. The lineage that I know, my instructor is Master Chun Young, Korean. His master was Master Gil Hung. Gil Hung's master was Gai Gyung Yun, and that goes back to the Japanese occupation of Korea. And beyond that, I don't know. When the Japanese occupied Korea, it was illegal to practice martial art. If you were caught, they were executed.
Oh my goodness.
There was resistance to the occupation, and the resistance was conducted by the martial artists. So for that reason, if they caught you, you were executed. So after Korea was liberated from Japan in 1945, then the Koreans that were practicing came and made it public and tried to get the nation, their spirit back up after being occupied. So they practiced the martial art for self-pride. And from there it spread to all the world countries. You need to know proper protocol when you come into the studio. So when you enter the studio, if there's a group of people in the studio, you go and seek out, look for the highest rank or the master, and then you go and greet them, and then you can greet other people. And the reverse happens when you exit. You greet your fellow students, and then before you exit, you greet your master or your instructor, whoever's teaching. When you are talking to any of your instructors, you refer to them as yes ma'am or yes sir. And there's reasons why you have to respond. We are practicing a military or a martial art. And with the protocol, when someone gives a command, that command has to be recognized, that it was received and understood. So for that reason, you say yes sir or yes ma'am. The other reason is it's showing respect to the person that is instructing you. Attention command. Your heels are together, feet are slightly apart, just the same as our military. Okay, the Korean word for attention is chariot. So chariot, and your hands will be in a loose fist at your side. And bow is gunye, gunye. So you bend at the waist and drop your eyes. Some martial arts teach you to stare. These are your fellow practitioners. They're not going to kick you or punch you when you bow. So that is a disrespectful act. So when you bow, you just drop your eyes to the floor also. Okay, then there's the ready position. So the ready position would be chun-bi. So chun-bi, step with your right foot. Right foot moves, shoulder width apart, and your hands come up in this position, and then you slowly curl into a fist, and right when you get about to the belt, you twist outward. And your hands are about this far apart. Very good. Then paro means relax. So then you exit your chun-bi position. Taekwondo, what do you know the meaning of what Taekwondo means? I mean, we're practicing Taekwondo, that's a generic name. And the Taekwondo name was coined in 1954. So a lot of people say, oh, Taekwondo's new. No, Taekwondo is over 2,000 years old. So that's a pretty long time to be carrying on. But through the whole process, it had different names, just like our name is Tae. To unify, they coined the name Taekwondo. Taekwondo means dealing with the foot or kicking. Kwon means hand or fist. And do means mind or way. So foot, fist, way. The fist, using for striking. There's two ways to make a fist. You can make it like this. This is the way most people do. I find this is faster, quicker, and stronger with the thumb here. Problem that I always had is this knuckle is real tight. And you strike with these two knuckles here only. To hit with these two knuckles, this knuckle protrudes. So if I would punch, this would hit first and injure this, at least the skin. So I found that if I grab here and pull, that made my fist in a better position for striking. The other thing that you need to take note is how the wrist moves. You see this action here. If you looked at an x-ray, this bone right in here in the forearm, there's two bones right in line behind these two bones in the fist. Right behind these two, there looks like there's a void. That's why the wrist can bend. So if you strike with this side of the fist, you absorb some of the impact in your hand and it can injure yourself rather than delivering the force to your target. So for that reason, we strike with these two only. You can focus with one if it's a small target, or you just focus with the two of them. The other thing that you want to do is the bones have to be in a straight line. You can't hit with it down or up. This, again, would cause that flexing and cause injury to the wrist. So, as a practice for this, when we do push-ups, we always do knuckle push-ups. And when you do a knuckle push-up, you want to be on these two knuckles, not the entire pad of the fist, just the two knuckles. So on the carpet, you can't really feel it, but you concentrate that it's on those. If you want to feel it, do it on a hardwood or a stone or a brick. The advantage of hitting with the knuckle is it concentrates the energy into, or force into one small area. If I would hit with my entire fist frontal area, that energy would be distributed through that area in comparison to this small area. So it's probably 6 to 12 times energy concentration into one small area. So that makes it much more impact into your target. Okay, now, so with the fist, when we're going to make a punch, you want the punch to come from your side, right here, and notice the palm is up. And I pull it back. I mean, this is formal way to practice. In reality, it may not be in that position, but you pick up the formal portions of it at the end of the punch. So it comes from here, and you're focusing on a target. That fist will come out, and right before it gets to the target, you rotate. That rotation gives an increase of, where's your fist? It gives,
How do you want me to keep my hand?
fists. We're in
That's always
fists. Not always. Sometimes we're open hand too. There's other ways to strike. That's good. And yeah, I'm checking alignment. That has to be straight. Okay, pretty good. Okay, when we practice punching, we practice from what's called a riding horse stance. So to get to a riding horse stance, so you go from your chun-bi position. This is what would be happening in class. You'll be going from a chun-bi position. Then to step to a wide stance, we do this method. I'm bending my left leg, feet come together, I cross, then I step real wide. And I pull back. You move your right foot.
Okay, that's where
The right foot is going to go. So from here, you have enough room? Okay, so it's from chun-bi. Okay, riding horse stance. Move. Okay, now, yeah, pull them back. Make those hands a little bit, a little bit higher, around right above the belt area, just above the belt. Okay, now, you're going to come out with the right fist, rotate. Now, your target is directly in line. If you had a vertical line down your body, right in line with your nose, okay, then we're going to punch again. This time, like the pistons in the car, one's coming down as the other's going out. This drawing back is adding force into the one that's coming out. And again, there's one spot. I'm exchanging my knuckles at that same spot that's in front of me. It's important that when you start with this in mind. Parallel, that means relax. You start with that in mind so that you don't create habits. If you practice at a target, if you need to use martial art as a self-defense, most of the time you're going to be scared or frightened. And that could cause you to fail in being effective. But if you practice everything with a strict discipline every time, no exception, every time, then when it comes time to make this action, you don't have to think about it. It comes out automatically and it'll come out to the target. So that's real important that you learn fundamentals perfect at the onset. If you are sloppy at the beginning, you'll have a habit that you may never correct. So it's good for the proper start. And then, okay, so this is the riding horse stance, and this is a single punch. And then double punch. And then we ki-hap. Ki is the center of your energy. Ki-hap means bring your ki out. And ki is 2 inches below the navel. That's the center of your ki.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ki-hap, you're exhaling air and you chop it off right at the end. So, double punch. So you're exhaling and shut it off right at point of impact. What that does when you ki-hap, there's been studies that they have done where they were breaking things and they're measuring the force of impact of the strikes and the same individual making the same blows. What they found when the person does a ki-hap to the same strike without the ki-hap is there's a 30% increase of force by making the ki-hap. Thanks for watching, my friends. Bye-bye.